baby. I don't get no regret. For this kind of love, I know go feel can, baby. But along the line, sometimes you did drive me crazy. Still I can. Don't wanna leave. Walk outside the door, please. Can we be yours once more? Duro, my love, great Messiah, let me be your one and desire. Duro, my love, let me be your only one that you always ever need. Baby, I know I've done wrong, and I'm sorry, sorry, sorry for all the things that I've done. Let me make it up to you, make your dreams come true. We've come so far to throw it all away, away, away. Let's hold on to love and cherish every day. Oh, Duro, my love, baby Messiah, let me be your one and desire. Duro, my love, let me be your only one that you always ever need. Duro, my love, great Messiah, let me be your one and desire. Duro, my love, let me be your only one that you always ever need.
That's a very beautiful way to start the show.
Absolutely.
Ah, beautiful. I think we should clap for him.
Thank you very much, Edward. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, we needed your music. We needed your music to introduce you before we introduce you by your name. Great performance. And you're going to do more for us on the show, would you?
I would love to.
Oh, you would love to. Ladies and gentlemen, Ola Egbowon.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you for the invitation.
You know, looking to be sure that you didn't add Ola sax, because it appears everybody who plays saxophone,
all right,
or does one kind of music, or just add something to that, their name, because I can see you're a saxophonist as well.
No, I'm not actually.
Oh, really? I thought you were a saxophonist.
No, I just say I compose.
Okay.
I play a little bit, but nothing to say by live.
So your voice is so, more or less. So you sax your voice.
This can do more than save your life.
I mean,
beautiful sound.
Thank you very much.
You can tell someone is smitten this morning.
Yeah.
Aren't you smitten, Karen?
I'm sorry, I didn't mention anybody's name. It could be me, it could be anyone.
I'm just wondering, you chose this calm music in a time when vibe is the ish. Allow me to use those phrases.
Yeah, because I'm originally a soul and jazz singer. I live in Vienna, Austria, and I've always wanted to come back home and do something, but I just can't get into the Afrobeat thingy because I'm not that young anymore. I might look that young, but exactly. So I'm like, I've been experimenting for a while, and I came up with this sound, and this is what I want to stick with. And I call it Afro-soul, actually.
And you know, it's reminiscent of some of the things we used to hear back in the 2000s. Sounds like Marvin Gaye, Luther Vandross. So talk to us about some of your influences.
These are my mentors. Actually, the whole thing started. Actually, I grew up in a musical family back in Lagos, and I spent my early years going to the shrine, and I never thought about music, actually. I showed up at the shrine, I saw Fela on stage, and I was totally smitten, and I saw about his last 3.5 years, and then after that, started going to Agbo Fuji, saw Ayuba, saw this and that. Then years later, found myself in Austria, doing this, doing that. And after a while, I realized I've been a musician all my life, because back in Lagos, everybody thought I was this crazy odd one out. And I actually realized that I've been a musician and I've been an artist, and this is actually what separates me. This is what makes me think differently. And ever since, I've just been trying to find my sound, and I go into the soul and jazz scene. And yeah, the rest is history.
There you go. Just in case you're just joining us, we chose to start the show with Ola to signify the essence of the season. Ola's come back home from Vienna, Austria.
Absolutely, yeah.
You hear, and his music is about love. Am I correct?
Everything should be about love.
There you go. There's hope in it. There's forgiveness. You hear the part of forgive me. You get it?
Let me be the only one, baby.
And that's why we're starting the show. It's Christmas season. It's Boxing Day, right?
If you have what to unbox,
you know, just unbox, and we're unboxing him. So that's why we're starting the show. Such a different light. I'm Kayode Okikilu, by the way, just in case you forgot. And fantastic listening to you sing. I could feel that passion, that soul. Obviously, you want to drag the people into the reality of your song, right? And I want you to speak to applying your trade or your craft in Austria, right? I mean, Nigeria is very welcoming. We experiment with a lot of things, right? But how has your music been received in Austria, and what do you hope to achieve in Nigeria?
Actually, in Austria, I've been well received. I am very, very fortunate. Of course, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but I put a lot of work in there, and people love it because it's totally different. Because the first thing is, I'm an African doing Black American style of music, soul music. But I'm like, no, this is Black music. So it's not Black American. It's actually Black music, yeah. Because we came from here, we were taken over there. The music evolved into something else, and this is where we are today. So, yeah, that was the first hurdle to get over with the Black Americans. Then the Austrians. We more or less, I more or less introduced myself like forcefully into the scene, created my style, and made people realize. And also too, because I grew up with, as you said, Marvin Gaye and all them great. So it's like I knew most of them songs before I was 5-6 years old. So it was just like going back memory lane and just bringing stuff back.
So was your strategy like using what they're familiar with to introduce what they're not familiar with?
Absolutely.
How did you work that?
Because I found out some of the songs they really liked were the songs I loved, that I grew up with. And I'm like, if you guys like this, then you're going to like the others. So I put everything together. And what I did was I did a showcase, like a real proper showcase, introduced myself to the crowd, and then it just took off from there.
Fantastic. And, you know, it's amazing. We see you performing there. This is Europe, by the way.
Yeah, this is Vienna.
And, you know, your band is all white. Tell us about how, you know, it just speaks to how music is a universal language.
Absolutely.
How they're able to, talk to us about how they're able to just blending into your own kind of songs, you know, your band.
It's everything is very strategic, because once I realized I had a voice, and people loved what I was doing, I was like, okay, then I have to give more to it. Then I went back to studying. Thank God for YouTube. Then I found a lot of tapes from Marvin Gaye, like old tapes from Stevie Wonder, from all them greats. I spent hours and hours and hours. I studied. So everything that came back to my dressing, to my appearance, to deliverance, to so many. It's a whole massive ball of putting everything together.
So would you say that, you know, the similarity of your sound to these grades makes it more compelling for the acceptability that you enjoy from this European audience?
You know, I think the most important thing was I found a way to create my own sound, because I one of the things Miles Davis said, he said, is the hardest thing in the world for an artist to sound like himself. And when I got that word, I was like, okay, this is what I have to do. That it took me so many. That's why I became a composer and a writer. I'm actually writing my own music, or most of it.
Beautiful.
Yes, thank you.
A couple of things I need to find out from you, but I just wanted to reiterate, you know, Boxing Day historically is linked to a time. And it's quite interesting that your story also aligns with that in some sense. You are taking ownership of the music, saying it's not just Black American, it's our music.
Absolutely.
Right. So Boxing Day was meant for Okay, and it's very controversial, but it is what it is. So you had people who served in rich homes, servants. They served during Christmas, so they spend Boxing Day going back home to their family, right? Since they served during Christmas, so they got a break the next day on the 26th to go back to their families, spend time, since they couldn't go on Christmas Day, then they will usually take presents, right? Which is why it's called Boxing Day. And that's sort of what you're doing, right? You're bringing gifts, in some sense.
Well, I'm the Santa Claus without the white beard.
I'm visiting home. So it's quite interesting, and I'm curious to know what the plan is. And you talked about Afrobeats being the big thing in this part of the world, but you do Afro-soul. A lot of people want to, bump to music. They just want that music to drown the hustle and bustle. But you're saying, no, you need to slow down. There's some sort of slow music for you. So what is your strategy, really?
One of the things I realized in Lagos, everything's loud. Right. You go to the clubs, you go to the lounges.
Actually, Lagos is what we call a hot bubble.
Man, yesterday I was at a restaurant eating, and I had to tell the manager, like, we're not in the club, but we're in a restaurant. Slow it down, please. I even wanted to have a conversation with a friend of mine. That's why we went there, and everything is so loud, and I was like, we got to bring it down. We got to bring it down a little bit. A lot of people want to chill. You want to drive. You want to think about. I love to drive. For example, in Europe, I travel. Sometimes I do a 12-hour journey, and I'm in the car. I make a lot of phone calls.
Not in Nigeria.
Not in Nigeria. So I'm in the car making phone calls, and sometimes I'm just driving, chilling, thinking. I just don't want this. I just want easy. One of my favorite albums is an album from Miles Davis, Soulful. It's one of the most quiet, distinguished. You can actually pinpoint what everybody's doing in the album.
It's easy to score that kind of music.
Absolutely.
No,
it's not easy to score.
No, you can
space.
Listen to. Okay, well, yes, you're the artist, you're the expert.
I'm working on it.
All right, so pardon me, Jeffrey. There's something you have to do for us today, because a lot of us have our singing voice in our head. In the bathroom, we're very good with singing.
All right.
You should hear some people.
I never sing in the bathroom.
Right, so I think that's the difference. But when we come out and we sing, and I'm speaking for a lot of people, right? People are like, no, don't sing. Allow the experts sing. So you walk us through what to take note of when you want to sing. Because listening to you, for example, sounds very good, but a lot of people want to replicate it, and it doesn't sound as good. Do you understand what I mean? So as we wind down eventually, you would teach us how to sing. Maybe not like you, but a little bit. What you pay attention to, how to project, how to keep it soulful. But I know Jeffrey wants to ask a question. I'm just giving you a heads up. All right. Before we end the conversation, you take us through that.
So one of the things I would like to find out, because I know that the vibe has drowned a lot of sounds like yours in Nigeria. So how has it been looking out for some of the people you like to work with in Nigeria? Do you first of all want to work with anyone? Let's begin with that. And have you been able to identify certain persons who maybe share your kind of mindset when it comes to music? For instance, you've talked about this loudness of Lagos and restaurant. I just want some places to chill. I like jazz as well. I like reggae, I like jazz, I like calm music. Well, it has its place, So have you found anyone? Do you like to work with anyone?
I love. Okay, I've not thought about working with people per se, but I really am a huge fan of Ashake.
Oh, okay.
I wake up in the morning, this morning actually, waking up, like I just put the Lungu Boy album on, it's rolling while I'm ironing my shirt and getting ready. I love Thames. Who else? They are all great. These guys are great in everything they do. And as an artist, it's the most unfair thing to do to compare or to separate. We are all great in whatever we do. And I think time will only be the judgment in this thing as time goes on. And another thing I found about Nigerian artists is like we are good at copy and pasting.
What do you mean?
When something is good and running, everybody jumps on the bandwagon. And then that's where you begin to see who's doing this, who's doing that. I think it takes time. I'm fresh in town. I'm just going to keep my ears open and my eyes.
Did you just got back? Let me use it the way. No, did you just get back? Did you just got back? When did you come?
Man, I've been coming to Lagos this 20 years.
No, this time, when did you come this year?
I came first of the month, but I went back to Vienna for a couple of shows, and I've been back for.
But you're in batch A. I understand. I wanted to be sure which batch you are, because we heard that another batch. After batch B landed on 2 days before, a day before Christmas.
My sister is landing next week, so
Jeffrey's the one keeping tabs.
That is batch F. We are keeping tabs on them. Really? They batch themselves. I didn't batch them because I have a question.
All right. Before you teach us to sing, talk to us about your nomination in the Eurovision contest song. It appears there are few Africans on that category of awards, but talk to us about the nomination and what it has done for your career.
I was selected to be part of the nominees, but I actually didn't make the final cut. I am really not a person to start. I don't really take tabs. I don't really count stuff. All I do is I just have a goal. I focus and I work towards it. I don't see my peripheral views are blinded like a horse. Really, I think this has been my superpower forever. I don't count. I'm trying to find the right words because I don't speak English so.
Laurels. Oh, you speak Austrian,
German. Oh, I speak German.
Okay, you're going to speak for us.
Please now.
You will speak for us.
I'm trying to switch over to find the word.
Let's learn from you. Learn from
Jeffrey,
us.
IJGB.
No,
it's trying to join the dirty.
No, don't worry. They have made December dirty for us.
So we have to
return it.
I'm not part of them. I love my calm. I love to be at home and sleep. Throughout yesterday, I was actually calming and sleeping. I was like, I'm going to be on TV today. I need my beauty sleep, everything.
Okay, land on the thought.
Yeah, the thing is, I just keep on going. I don't look at it. If I win, I win. If I lose, for me, it's an experience. Win or lose is an experience for me.
But it's something. At least it brings you visibility on the European scene. Your kind of
Absolutely.
music.
Yeah, it did. And actually, what really pushed my career was I had a residency in a dinner club in Vienna for about 7-8 years, and I was performing like on a regular, at least once a week there for about 6-7 years. And this was a very, very beautiful, well-made, beautiful. I don't even know how to explain it. You can check it out later. It's called Albertina Passage, and everybody came from all over Europe to see what was going on there. It was more or less first of its kind in Europe. It was more of a Las Vegas style, but to Vienna, and that was where the whole thing started. And I felt like I was in my living room. I had the most fun of my life till date.
And it doesn't matter that they don't speak the language, but they just enjoy the music.
English is a universal language. Music is the language of God.
Yeah.
So as we begin to wind down, it's kind of talked about you giving us tips for those who are they are Grammy Award winning singers in the bathroom until they open their mouth in public and things go south. And then you also teach us a bit of German, maybe a few things. If you want to travel to any of the cities in Germany, what are the first things we need to say to feel very welcome and all of that? So 2 things in one.
Tuesday. I think the first thing, German is Guten Morgen. That means good morning. Wie geht es dir? How are you doing?
The first thing you said sounded like good morning.
Guten Morgen.
Okay.
Guten Morgen. It's like G-U-T-E-N. And Morgen, M-O-R-G-E-N.
Okay.
Guten Morgen. And it's, wow.
No, just give us 5.
It sounds very much like English.
Yeah, actually, there are similarities.
Yeah, there are similarities actually. English borrowed from that.
Ich will dancing. I want to dance. Ich will singing. I want to sing. It's very much a lot of similarities there.
I have something for you, by the way. I need to get something for you.
Okay,
go ahead.
You guys are putting me on a hot seat. I'm sweating.
No, go ahead.
Ich will was essen. I want something to eat.
Okay.
Ich hab Durst. I'm thirsty.
I'm hungry. What is that?
Ich hab Hunger. Ich hab Hunger.
Oh,
I think that's why we have all these.
Yeah, it's very, very.
I know you've been looking for a way. I'm sure you didn't eat this morning, so you look for a way to eat.
That's a German cookie.
Yeah.
All right, I'm not a sweet though, but I could.
So someone
take
from
a bite.
Germany gave this to me.
All right.
And I heard you were coming. I'm like, perfect timing. So it's chocolate. There's a lot of other things in it.
All right.
Well, apparently this is a tradition in Germany.
Yeah,
to
but
have this kind of cookie.
But Germany is different from Austria.
I know.
We have
you share, there's similarities in culture, language, and stuff.
Okay, more than few similarities.
You get it. So that's why I thought, let me bring it, so you will not miss the second home.
All right, cool.
Do you want to have a taste?
Is it? It's not a sweet.
It's not a sweet tooth.
It's not a sweet tooth. Okay, no problem.
But actually, one of the things I've been doing since I've been in Lagos, I'm eating only local food.
That's good. That's
Only.
good.
And here am I eating German food.
Because it's mostly processed.
Right.
It's chemicals, fertilizers, and whatever. And we have all them organics and everything here.
But this is chocolate. This is ours, by the way.
But the bread and everything in there, and the icing and the sugar.
So good time to feast on the home.
It's making me feel guilty right here.
Let's get back to your music.
All right, teach us to sing then.
Before he teaches us to sing, tell us about this song that you performed and the album that it's currently on, and perhaps what you're working on.
Actually, my nephew wrote he made the beat and sent it to me a couple of months ago. About 4 or 5 of them, because I told him, I want to come to Lagos, I want to do this and that, and he checked out what I did, my music, what my sound was, and he sent me the song. The beat, and I sat on it for a few months, and the first thing that came to my mind was a hook line: Duro Malo, be Messiah, let me be your one and only desire. And somehow I put it together. Then the chorus was there, and that was all I had for a while. Then, when on one of my trips to Lagos, I met a lady, Amaka Nwosu. Actually, somebody directed me to her. I met her in Nwosu. We got together, we hung out, and I told her, I needed to write a song, and we showed up at my apartment, and with the help of artificial intelligence, two of us with the artificial intelligence, we got the song together, and this is what you hear.
All right.
Beautiful.
So,
which part of it? Was it with the lyrics or the composing?
No, with the lyrics.
The lyrics.
Yeah.
So Duro Malo.
Duro Malo.
AI helped.
No, actually, that was all me.
Okay.
But the verses was
okay. We're totally out of time. So 2 things quickly. In 30 seconds, the tips. Yes, tips. That's the right word.
Just
how
yourself.
How to sing properly, better, more engaging.
Don't try to sound like me, like Arthur Franklin, like Rudolph Vandross or Marvin Gaye. Be yourself, your voice, your tone. Just relax. Breathe from your stomach,
it's great.
from the diaphragm.
We have to do a line together.
It's great. I like to sound like Etta James if I can sometimes.
If you can't do that, she's totally different from you.
I want to sound like me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's do a line from your song. It's only fair.
Duro, Malo, be Messiah, let me be your one and only desire. Yeah, that's it. Duro Malo.
I'm saying the chord. I'm saying the sequence of the chord. Yeah.
Jeffrey, sing this.
Yeah, I'm retired from singing. This is what I do now. I'm a retired.
Can we enjoy that voice one more time before we wrap up the thing?
Duro, Malo. Be Messiah, let me be your one and desire. Duro, Malo. That's the song, yeah, totally.
Be Messiah.
Bukola, you've gone to real black music. It stays with jazz. That's why I say, if you hear what he's singing, there's a consistency. Bukola has gone. You're doing runs on the sun.
I love the music.
Anyway,
so where's the streaming so we can listen to it?
Right now we're mixing the song. Actually, we're mastering the song. I think it should be out in latest in the next week.
So you heard it here first.
Yeah, absolutely here first. Channel TV.
Okay, Ola Egbowon.
Egbowon, the brother, the big brother. We don't
Egbowon, okay. Right.
Ilaje Seldo.
Ilaje, that's
Ondo
State. Yeah.
You guys have oil.
Come on, Jeffrey. Come on.
That makes me my Niger Delta brother.
I've not seen anything.
No, you've not seen that.
That's why you had to go to Austria, right?
Well, part of it, but maybe that's why I'm coming back to Lagos to start digging.
There's oil there, man.
Because
thank you for coming on the program. All the way from Austria. I just got back badge A. Thank you for coming. We really had fun talking to you. I wish you the very best.
Thank you so very much.
Keep flying the flag high.
Cheers.
All right, fantastic. Yeah. All right, we'll take a quick break now. When we come back, trust me, you don't know what we have up our sleeve, but all you have to do is to stay right here on the Morning Brief. I'm Jeffrey Uzoma. She's Bukola. Complete your name now.
I'm Bukola Coker. Thank you, Jeffrey.
We'll be right back.
welcome back to the Morning Brief right here on Channels Television. And we started off by giving you joy on the program, and we're continuing with that. But this time around, focusing specifically on, that aspect of the conversation, enjoying everyday life. And it's so important because there's so much around us that, may want to get us on the downside of life. I mean, recall the stampedes back to back on the same day last weekend, and happening amid Christmas. That is a time for celebrating, for giving, and for sharing. So how do we enjoy everyday life amid so many challenges? Joining us to have this conversation this morning, we have Mr. Tomisin Balogun. He's known as the Joy Merchant and founder, Joy Headquarters, emotional wellness counselor, coaching masteries practitioner, United States of America. Thank you. Thank you for joining us, Mrs. Tomisin Balogun. And we also have joining us virtually as well, Bolu Onosoya. He's known as the Joy Apostle, Happiness Life Coach, Transformation Academy, Florida, USA. He's also an occupational therapist, an associate fellow, Royal Commonwealth Society, 2014 to 2022. Thank you so much for joining us, lady and gentleman.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
Yes. I'm going to start with you, Mrs. Balogun. And it's such an important conversation amid so many things happening around us, and not just the sad weekend that preceded Christmas, but also, the challenges bedeviling the country at this time. And we've talked a lot about mental health on the program. So let's start with reflecting on how to, keep our head above water at this point in time, particularly in homes where there's very little to celebrate during this time. What would be your message to them? How do they find joy where there is none?
Yeah. Good morning once again. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be with you today. So first of all, I want to really empathize with, everyone who is going through a difficult time right now, especially the families who have, lost their loved one and experiencing some form of grief at this time. I really want to empathize with you, and I'm sending you, love and hugs from here. It's not easy, losing your loved one and, just experiencing grief when everyone is experiencing joy, is the Christmas season. And I just really want to empathize with everyone. So my message will be that there is hope, even in the midst of, everything that is happening. There is hope, and, it will get better. It will get better. There is always light at the end of the tunnel. Even if it seems like everything is dark right now, it's always darkest before dawn. There is hope and there is light that is coming, for you. And I just want to send words of encouragement to every family right there, out there to just, stay, keep hope alive, stay positive. And, be expectant that, joy is coming to you. Joy is still coming to you, no matter what you feel right now, no matter how, sad and, down you feel right now. There is hope for you. And, there is strength, there is strength that is coming for you. You have the ability to be able to withstand, any challenges that you are facing. And the Nigerian spirit is the resilient spirit. We are resilient people as Nigerians. So I just want to send words of encouragement to everyone out there that you should keep hope alive, and strength is coming for you even as you navigate this difficult time in your life. Thank you.
Thank you for those powerful words, and for the virtual hug as well. Very comforting. I could almost feel it from this side of the divide. The same question for you, Mr. Onosoya, and you're also known as the Joy Apostle. How do you manage to retain joy? Because even the most joyful person is not always joyful all of the time.
Yes, thank you so much for the privilege to be here. I'm so excited. And I must say, Tomisin has done a great job. She did something there. She shifted the atmosphere. And so I'll just speak a bit. You see, life is about 90% perception right? Meaning that how you see life, your living experience is mostly about how you see life. So and that's what Tomise just did. She shifted your perspective so that your perception can change. I'll say that again. She shifted perspective so that perception can change. If life is majority, 90% perception, then what you need to do is always shift your perspective, see things a little differently, and then you be able to appreciate life better. So one of the things I would say to people is always find a way to shift your perspective, and you have to do it with a lot of consciousness. Now, let me just give you a bit of statistics. That the human mind thinks about between 12,000 to about 60,000 thoughts every day. And about 80% of these thoughts are negative thoughts. Now, 90% of these thoughts are repetitive. They are repetition of what you thought about yesterday, last week, or last year. So if a person is thinking that they're not good enough, this thought will continue to come back again and again, and it will continue to condition their atmosphere. And that's why I said what she shifted the atmosphere. So when the atmosphere is shifted, it'll be difficult for you. If you're always thinking negativity, it'll be difficult for you to see the brightness of life. So one of the things I would encourage people to do in this season is to see things differently. Now, let me say this about a person who is enjoying Christmas in the village and another person who is enjoying Christmas in their urban city. They're both enjoying. You see, the description can be different, but the definition is the same. I say that again. The description can be different. If you check a word in the dictionary, they'll tell you the definition and they'll give you the description of how to use that word. And they hardly give you one example. They give you two or three, because the context can be different, but the definition is the same. So what you're saying is see things differently. If you don't have all the money to do all the fun things that other people are doing on Instagram, find a way to shift your perspective, see the definition. You just want to have a good time and use whatever you have to have a good time. All right. So once perspective is shifted, perception changes. And when perception is changing, then you have a great time and you enjoy the season. And it happens season in, season out, whether it's Christmas or whether it's just when you're working, so yes.
All right, let's take it to Mrs. Balogun. And I'm looking at some of the things you do, emotional wellness counselor and coach. I want you to maybe help us walk out, still staying with the trying times we're facing, because people can be easily irritated. People are literally on the edge. People may not be making some of the best of decisions. What you call I'm trying to look for the right word now, more like maintaining what my colleague will call inner equilibrium is quite not as easy as it should be, because of some of these externals and internal factors playing in and out, maybe in their head, around their life, and within their spaces. So if someone walks up to you and is having a challenge being as astute as the person should be in terms of emotional intelligence, how would you start the maybe diagnosis and begin to show the person a better path to be able to make the most out of what is available for him or her?
Thank you. Thank you so much. So the first thing would be to name your emotions. And, this is what we do in emotional wellness, psychology, and all of that. So you have to be able to understand what you're feeling. What are you feeling? Are you feeling anger? Are you feeling sadness? Are you feeling grief? Naming your emotion is one of the most powerful things that you can do to step out of, whatever uncomfortable emotion that you're feeling. I don't want to call it negative emotion because, in psychology, there are no negative emotions. There are just uncomfortable emotions. So you must be able to understand what you're feeling, because when you are able to name that emotion properly, that's when you can step into the solution, to get out of that emotion. For example, if you're feeling angry, Anger tells you that, you're not valued, you want to feel valued, and so to treat the emotion of anger, you have to start to look at what is the truth. What can I do to feel more valued? What can I do for this person to really understand the value that I bring? That is what brings anger. Sadness, for example, it means that you need connection. If you come to me now and you're sad, and I'm able to diagnose that you're feeling sadness, maybe if I give you a big hug, you feel a little better, than how you're feeling. So I would say the first thing is to be able to name your emotion properly. That's how you can, step into, a solution, feeling better than you're feeling right now. Another thing is, of course, the concept of finding purpose in your pain. Like, it's so important to just like Bolu said, shifting your perspective and, finding purpose in your pain is one of the powerful things that you can do. And how do you do that? You must start to see, your pain as not, you must start to see it as, you must start to see it as an advantage, quote and unquote. There is always a way to see what you're feeling, and you can always transform that pain into purpose. When you look at it, what can I learn from? What is this pain teaching me? What can I do better? What are the lessons that the pain is teaching me? How can I grow from here? So those are some of the things that you need to start to see. Another thing is, cultivating that mindset, that positive mindset is very, very important. You must be able to have that, and that's what we call the mindset of joy. You must be able to understand that no matter what is going on in my life right now, things will get better. That is the mindset of joy. You must always know that, all things, we're people of faith. All things are working together for my good. No matter how bad, the situation is right now, things are going to work out. I might not know how it's going to, play out, but I know that somehow, it's going to get better. And that is the mindset that helps you to attract positivity into your life. That is the mindset that helps you to attract good things in your life. Life is spiritual. There is no way you want to, say it. Life is spiritual. When you have that mindset, where you continue to, and I must say that is not something that you do overnight. You have to constantly practice how to cultivate that positive mindset. It must register in your subconscious, right, that things are going to work out for me. Things are going to get better. Another thing is, reframing your thoughts. Right. Whatever you're feeling, you must be able, if you're feeling some negative thoughts, you must be able to reframe those thoughts and, to be able to get to the root of it and say, okay, this thing that I'm feeling, is it true? Is this thought true? Right. This negative thought, how can I reframe it and make it better? And the last thing is that you have to embrace your spirituality. There is no way you can separate spirituality from psychology. And by spirituality, I don't mean religion. I mean your spirit. Man is a spirit, has a soul, and lives in a body. So you must be able to connect with your spirit. Like that is the anchor that helps you, that holds you through every, negative circumstance that you are feeling. There must be something deeper than whatever that you're feeling right now. So that anchor, you must always find it. And I would say that is God. You must find, you must embrace, that your faith. That is how you can find an anchor in the midst of every, negative circumstance that you're feeling.
All right, Thomas.
Thank you.
Very, very instructive, the points you made. You're a mental health coach. Bolu is also an occupational therapist. And I want to ask both of you, but I'll start with Bolu. This classic question, right? I think it was in 1650 or 1651. Thomas Hobbes said, man intrinsically is poor, nasty, brutish. The kind of life man lives is poor, nasty, brutish, short, etc. Essentially saying that man intrinsically is bad. Then I think over a century after, Jean-Jacques Rousseau came and said, nah, man is intrinsically good, okay? Forget all the other things happening around, but intrinsically, man is good. So over 400 years after, I want to put the same question to you based on your experience, right? Dealing with people, dealing with situations and all those things. Where do you tilt? Is man intrinsically good? Do you agree with Jean-Jacques Rousseau, or man is intrinsically bad, agreeing with Thomas Hobbes? But most importantly is, whatever side of divide you're on, how do we get man to have good experiences? So if man is intrinsically bad, how do we get man to that side? If man is intrinsically good, how do you maintain that? Bolo, I'll start with you.
Thank you, Kennedy, for that. Such fantastic question. You know, man is not good or bad. Man is a product of his environment. So the question is, what environment were these people when they made those statements? You know, so in biology, this is basic biology, there's something called a phenotype. Phenotype is an observable trait of a person. It's a product of two things, the genotype of that person and the environment. You see, so if you must be bad, if you must be good, you must be able to engineer your environment. Because we've come to discover in science that environment has the ability to turn off some genetic coding, meaning that I actually think that I'm fairer than Tomise originally by design. Okay, that's a joke. But you see, if I'm in an environment that doesn't turn on that gene, you know, I'll remain as dark as coal. Do you see? So if a man must be good, then he must be able to regulate his environment. Now, the two types of environments, there's an internal environment, which is your mind, and the external environment. Do you know that people can be environment? In fact, a child, when a child is born, the first environment that child has is the mother. Do you see? Not just the physical ecosystem, but the mother is an environment. The child is looking at the mother, looking at the parents, looking at how they're emoting, the emotions, looking at their faces to understand what life is. Do you see? So you must be able to regulate your environment to be able to be good. But ultimately, a man is a product of his environment, whether internal or external. So if you're highly performing in society, maybe you have high health, self-esteem, you're very confident because you have a very decent internal environment, or the external environment, you get a lot of validation and all of that. So regulate your environment and you're good.
So, Bolu, looks like you're tilting towards the nurture bit of the nature versus nurture, philosophical argument. It's funny, we're just getting deeper into this. But Tomi, I'll come back to Bolu to find out then, how do you maintain that? If you think that man is a function of your environment, how do you... Some say create your environment. You're like, how do I create my environment? I can only afford rent in this area, for example. So you want me to... But let me come to Toby. Say, what side of divide do you belong? He has escalated this to the nature versus nurture, saying you're a product of your environment, not a product of your genetics. But intrinsically, is man good or bad for you?
Absolutely. Man is neither good nor bad, depending on depending on where man is coming from and the perspective that man is, is speaking from. Just like Bolu said, you can't say, man is good or bad. You can't pick one of both sides. It depends on, the perspective that man is coming from. What is spoiling that thought? What is spoiling that decision? What is happening within you, that made you to conclude that, okay, man is bad, and many times when we come up with philosophies like that, it always depends on what is happening around us, at that time. You come up with like a breakthrough, quote or something, and by the time you start to think about it, you find out that, okay, this person was going through something when he actually wrote this, or when he actually said this, or this person was experiencing some form of ecstasy, and because of how life has been good to him, and he said, okay, yeah, mine is good, and this person experienced another level of painful experience, and it says man is bad. So it always depends on where you're coming from on this, side of the divide. And, I would always say that no matter what you're experiencing, whether you're experiencing the good side of life, or the bad side of life, you can always, nurture your joy, regardless of it, whether it's you're experiencing something positive or negative, you can always find your joy again. You can always, maintain your joy or find it again, no matter the side of the divide that you have. Yeah.
Amazing and very, very deep. We could keep expanding this conversation and be surprised at the depth of the knowledge that we will discover. But we must anchor at this point, and we hope that we have the opportunity, to share on these important subjects again and how they all tie together. But we must thank you very much, gentleman and lady, for joining us. We've been talking with Mrs. Tomisi Balogun, who is a mental health coach. She's known as the Joy Merchant and founder Joy Headquarters. We've also been talking with Mr. Bolu Onosoya, the Joy Apostle, Happiness Life Coach, Transformation Academy, Florida, USA. Thank you so much for coming through for us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
And so, when the heart is at rest, there's something else that also refreshes the spirit. It's jollof. We'll be back after this time out to talk to you about the meals for the season. Stay with us.
Jollof, here in the city of London, set up by a young Nigerian who decided to put this here. How has it been, madam?
Thank God. Yeah.
So you have jollof rice on the street in the city of London.
Yeah.
How was the clientele like?
Everybody, both the white and black, all of them, they really enjoy the food. They really, really enjoy the food.
So
hello. With plantain, we have plantain too, that making the plantain. Oh wow. Yeah. Very hot, and people they really, really enjoy it.
So this is taking Nigeria to the world.
And this is beef.
Okay. So what about the spicy?
Yeah. We don't make too spicy.
Okay.
Because of individuals. Some people they like it, some people they don't like it. But we made special spice that they will, if they want it, we chop it on top for them. And this is salad. We have different kinds, which they really, really love.
So, Nigerian jollof, done pot in that sense, traveled to the UK. And this morning we're going to be speaking with someone who's making that happen. Yes, there's a lot of jollof going around, but it's not just in Nigeria. For those who are not able to return home, they can still get a taste of jollof. But we'll dig deeper to the bottom pot as we join Ayo Konde, who heads City Jollof London, an entrepreneur. This man, by the way, studied engineering, but now he's engineering jollof. Good morning, welcome to the Morning Brief, Ayo.
Good morning, guys, and good morning to the audience, and thank you so much for having me.
What's the season like with jollof, particularly now? I know jollof is like most demanded for meal right now. So how are you handling all of that pressure?
I mean, the buzz, the demand has been amazing. The reception has been so lovely, and interestingly, we find that majority of our customers are even non-Nigerians, right? And mostly trying jollof for the first time. Maybe they've seen jollof on TikTok, seen jollof on Instagram, and yeah, the demand jollof is king right now. I tell you for free.
Just to be clear, Ayo, which of the jollofs are you cooking there? Is it Nigerian jollof? Is it Ghana jollof? Before we know how to approach this conversation, is it Nigerian jollof? Is it Senegalese jollof? Which of the jollofs are you engineering there?
I mean, I don't want to get into that controversy, but because we have many Nigerian friends and many Ghanaian and Senegalese friends, but we make Nigerian jollof. And yeah, everyone loves it, both the Ghanaians, both the Senegalese, but we make Nigerian jollof.
Businessman. It's like everybody's welcome. And that's good. It shows how jollof breaks barriers. But I'm interested in your story as well. Because when I look through your profile, I expect to see, studied culinary arts, studied entrepreneurship, but first-class engineering is what you have. And now you're also doing jollof. You're not in Nigeria, so they can't say the Nigeria thing happened to you. Nigeria makes you versatile. So how did that happen, really?
So it was the opportunity, and it was a sort of call to action, right? And I worked in the city. I worked in financial services, right? And during lunch breaks, I find that there's a sort of underrepresentation of Nigerian cuisine in the city, in London's financial district. So when I go out for lunch with colleagues and friends, we go to Thai cuisines, we go to Indian cuisines, we go to Greek cuisines, but there wasn't just that. There wasn't enough representation of Nigerian cuisine or African cuisine in London's central district. And you also find that again, like as you just said, jollof is an increasingly popular meal, right? Many people have known or have heard about jollof, but they haven't found an opportunity to try it. And I say, you know what? Why not just bring jollof rice to the city of London? And that's exactly what I did. So it was just the level of impact and the opportunity was too big for me to ignore.
All right, Conde, since this Christmas or this Yuletide, we've been talking about I Just Got Back. I know that I don't think you're sticking to where you are to do your business. But one of the things I want to find out from you is whether or not, when we talk about our cuisines going global, what does that really mean in terms of context? Because there are two contexts here. There's a part of other nations or races eating our food, African dishes. And there's a part of those of us those who were in diaspora, Africans who are in diaspora, looking out for their meals so that they can feel a sense of home. So what is it that is quite predominant for you? Is it more Africans trying to look for African food, or Nigerians looking for Nigerian food, or other nationalities trying to find out just how good our food is?
Most predominantly is other nationals trying Nigerian cuisine, especially jollof rice. So we use jollof rice as the headline product, right? So it's mostly other nationalities trying Nigerian cuisine. So what we do as City Jollof is to export what we have as a race, as a nation, as a people, and we export it to other nationals.
So I know that across the world, you could walk into a restaurant and you really want to have English breakfast, the sausages, ham, bacon, and sometimes you walk into another restaurant, what you want to have is pasta. The American burger is also popular, even in restaurants in Africa. But tell us about the potential of Nigerian cuisine, not just jollof now. We have quite a number of dishes, to gain that global recognition as well, finding them in continental restaurants across the globe, such that Nigeria is put on the world map with its cuisine.
Yes, I think Nigerian cuisine has a lot of potential. It stands to compete with other global cuisines. The Thai food industry, for example, is estimated at about $43 billion in 2023, right? And I think Nigeria could do more, or could even get to that. Could get to that level and could do more than that. And that is what City Jollof is trying to do, right? To get more continental restaurants to adopt Nigerian cuisine and adopt what Africa has to offer. And I think even just anchoring on jollof rice, there's so much we could do with just jollof rice alone, right? So there's a lady that makes jollof rice burritos, right? And I think there's just so much potential for Nigerian cuisine, and City Jollof is on that mission to see what we can do in taking this global.
And so let's gauge that with what you're doing in the City of London, for instance. So on a scale of 1 to 10, what is the number of Europeans, people of other races that patronize City Jollof besides Nigerians or Africans who just want to have a taste of home again?
I mean, about 70 to 80% of our customers are from other races. Right, so you have Asians, you have Europeans, you have Middle Easterns, you have all sorts of people who have, again, they've heard about jollof rice, but they say, oh, I've not found a way to try it, it's not available in my local area, or yeah, I've just not found a way to try it. And having this in close proximity to where they work, right, gives them that thrill that, you know what, let's go and try jollof rice. And when they try City Jollof rice, they really like it. Then following day, they bring their colleagues and their friends to say, okay, let's go and try jollof rice. And jollof rice seems to be the go-to lunch meal in the local area. And just step by step, we hope to do more to spread the word and spread the gospel of Nigerian cuisine.
So tell us, do you add the stew to the rice, or you add the rice to the stew if you want to make the perfect jollof, right? How do you go about it? Because these are some of the pain points of people. You know, they taste the jollof outside, they try to replicate it at home, and what they get is far from jollof. It's just jaw, there's no love in it. So what's the best way to approach making the perfect jollof?
Yeah, so what we do is we sort of try to adapt what we make to fit other palates. Right, so the Nigerian palate is quite hot, it's quite spicy and all of that, but we tend to adapt what we make to suit the other palates, right? And we have, as you saw in the video, we have a special chili sauce for Nigerians and Africans that want an extra spice. And what we do is we add the jollof to the stew, and that's how we make it.
So what is it about I know you mentioned it in passing. Some people say, oh, when I eat jollof, by the way, they say it's very spicy, it's the pepper. I mean, I don't like pepper, by the way. So what exactly, because I'm interested in what other nationalities, non-Africans especially, think about our food, because that is how we have to contextualize globalization in that way, soft globalization, maybe our own little soft power through food.
So like I said, what we do is we have a special chili sauce, right? So if you want, so our jollof rice is not spicy at all, right? So we've made it in a way that appeals to other palates, right? And you also find that majority of our customers, so I call it the secret sauce, they love that chili sauce, right? And many people come and say, okay, yes, I want the chili sauce. Can you add some more chili sauce to the jollof rice? But I think it is that freedom to know they can choose whether they want the jollof spicy or not, right? And that's the freedom we give the customers. So in making our jollof, it's not spicy at all. So we make it adaptable to other palates, and they just love it. I couldn't explain.
All right. So I'm assuming that it's quite enterprising for you. Is that it?
Yes, indeed. It's the thrill and the fulfillment that comes with seeing an idea, a dream come to reality, and seeing the level of reception that you didn't even imagine. Right, I think that is a quite enterprising and fulfilling.
Okay, just before Bukola, sorry. So, for instance, I don't know, how do you sell in terms of in the measurement? I don't know how to describe what I'm trying to, but I'm sure you know what I'm trying. Portions. That's what I'm looking for. Thank you, Bukola. The portions now. How do you sell it in places like London? Is it affordable? Just give us an idea.
Yeah, it is indeed affordable. It's a lunchtime meal, so it costs between £8 and £10 for our portion. So it depends on what protein option you want to. We have the chicken option, we have the beef option, and we have the lamb option. And from next year, we'll also be introducing the vegetarian option. So you find that, again, many of our customers come and say, oh, I'm vegetarian, but I really want to try jollof rice. Right, so what we're going to do is take out the chicken stock element and just try to make it adaptable to their preferences.
So £10 is like 20K, right?
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Are you diversifying, by the way? Are you planning amala? Because that's my own favorite meal.
I mean, at the moment, amala is not on our radar now. I don't think, people, I don't know if anyone wants to, but we'll find out, but I don't know if anyone wants to have amala for lunch. On the lunch, they'll just go back to the office and fall asleep.
Good angle. Then you'll be known as City Amala at that point, or then there'll be City Fufu, City Semo. But we have to thank you so much. I wanted to spotlight the work you're doing tied to the meal of the season, which is jollof. Well, some say it's fried rice. I don't know if you agree, but basically... Oh, you agree? Fried rice is for Christmas?
I disagree.
Of course you'll disagree now. You're an ambassador for Jollof. But we just wanted to tie to also the resilience and Nigerian spirit, which you're really showcasing out there. Thank you so much for the work you're doing. You're 25 years old, am I correct?
Yes.
25 years old, amazing. We've been speaking with Ayo Akonde, entrepreneur, the man that wears jollof on his chest, he wears it on his sleeve, and he serves it in a plate. City Jollof London, thank you for your time.
Thanks so much for having me. Have a nice day.
And you too. We're back in a moment. It's our Boxing Day edition. Now that we're done with food, we need to do some more relaxation. And this next segment would excite you. So stay with us right here. It's still the morning brief. Sumto. Amazing. This is the part where we actually clap, but I think we're all
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning. And well, how do you greet for Boxing Day now? Happy Boxing Day, right?
I guess. Happy Boxing Day.
Amazing. Can I touch your butt?
Careful.
How old is this?
Just 4 years.
4 years. But it has that feel like Fela has used it, Fela passed it on to Lagbaja, and Lagbaja passed it on to you.
I don't know what you're hearing, but...
No, I'm saying the look. It has this classic look.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think it comes from how often you use it. Yeah, that.
Beautiful. So speak to us. You just did Married It You Know, which is, of course, a Christmas classic. Yeah. And this hit me differently, I must confess. So I've heard people sing it. I've heard people play on the keyboard. But hearing it played on the sax just hits differently. It's as though it takes you to a deeper level. So is it a thing with brass instruments, or particularly saxophone, or it is you, or is a mix of everything together?
I think it's a mix of everything, but then I remember when I started on the saxophone, I literally went on Google to search how to sound soulful as a saxophonist. So for me, I was telling my friends recently, when I play, I want people to cry.
You almost got it.
Well, it means I'm doing a good job then. So, not necessarily cry, but I want you to feel that emotion that I play with and that place I play from. So, in as much as it might be a saxophone thing, it also has to do with the personality of the person behind the saxophone.
It's beautiful to see. You remind me of my friends. Look, we used to have this jazz concert in Port Harcourt and cool music. That's why I was talking to the gentleman. And my friend C.C. Johnson, this is what he does. Brilliant guy. And there's another Emmanuel. So Emmanuel does trumpets. All these guys who know how to play brass instrument. But I don't think some of us wanted to try because of how difficult it is, because no matter how much you blow. So how challenging was it for you to learn? Or how quickly was it for you to learn? Because I'm telling you the truth, some people give them 3 months. It's just air that will be coming out of that thing. Nothing will come out beyond that. Not even talk of a melody.
Okay, in as much as it is difficult in quotes, I think it also has to do with the quality of the person teaching. So it was a bit difficult for me because I didn't want to play the saxophone. I wanted to play the trumpet, but it happened that there was no trumpet around, so I was forced to learn the saxophone, or let's say the saxophone chose me. So it was a bit rough at the beginning, but I think we have a blissful relationship right now.
I like that.
In relation to Jeffrey's question, I personally think that the ability to transform sound, air into melody using the saxophone or any trumpet, any musical instrument that is divine. It's just amazing. It blows my mind away. Maybe it's because I love music myself.
Okay.
So how early did you know that you were able to play this musical instrument? And do you feel that divinity as well when you are, doing what you do?
Well, divinity, yes, I do. Yeah, I feel there's something.
Yeah.
I know there is something.
Inexplicable, right?
Yes, it is there. I can't explain it, but it's there. I liken it to maybe when you're in church and people are worshiping, you can see that's the Holy Spirit, right? But then how do you explain someone playing a non-church song and still feel something? So I know there's something extra aside to me. But my earliest memory of playing the saxophone, I think, was about 10 years ago. I hadn't made up my mind to play yet, but that was the first contact I had with the saxophone. So it was quite rough then, but yeah, I thank God for where we are now.
So give us a sense of what's going on inside of you when you're playing. Are you also singing on the inside?
My boss would say when he plays, he doesn't think, he concentrates. So you're trying to connect to, there's something you're hearing that you're trying to let out. I don't know if that makes sense. So it's a bit abstract. I don't know if I'm making sense.
So you're trying to channel that, you're trying to channel so people hear what you're hearing.
Basically. So from your mouth to the coordination of your fingers, you just have to make sure that, okay, there is that line that connects it to give you that sound you have in your head that your audience now get to hear.
It's just beautiful to see. So, what kind of songs do you like to score? The guy who spoke to, what's his name, Ola, he likes, quiet, calm music. I'm asking that question because one would presume that people who play brass instruments would naturally like calm sounds. But is that true?
It might not be true for everyone, but for me, it's a preference. I do majorly contemporary jazz, and back then when I just started taking music serious, I told them, hey, I want to do jazz. People are like, you can't do jazz, it's Nigeria, you have to do Afro-pop, people want to dance and all that. But I stuck to what I think I wanted, and God has been faithful. It's been a journey, and I am thankful for it.
Okay, there you go. I was going to ask how many things are working when you're playing? How many things are you doing together when you're playing? So your hand, your ears, your mouth. How many of your organs,
your mind,
are at work when you're playing?
Okay.
Just walk us through.
How technical the other answer to be? Because I think there are like 15 systems in the body.
For real.
But the musculoskeletal system is working. The fingers, right? Your cardiovascular system is working. Yes. What else? Your brain is definitely working. That's the center of everything. What else? I'm sure if I sit down to think, everything one way or another is working. So, but I think at the core of everything is the nervous system, the brain. So it now allows that coordination from your mouth knows. My boss talks about muscle memory. So the muscles of your lips know how tight to be on mouthpiece to give a particular sound, because a particular fingering can produce about 4 different sounds. So it's not dependent on the muscle to know how tight to squeeze to give you the sound you want.
It sounds like a lot of air, and it's maximum concentration. So for how long can a saxophonist stay on a song performing before they take some rest?
So the record for that one breath, I think, is held by Femi Kuti, 40-something minutes. But then there's a technique for that. It's called circular breathing. I don't want to get too technical, but for normal breathing, you can do as much as 45 seconds, depending on the training.
Okay, there's technical breathing, because 45, I don't know anybody that lasts more than 2 minutes.
Right.
I know Femi did something about 40-something minutes, so thank God you've cleared it.
It's not the straight.
Yeah, I know there's another jazz guy that I also, let me leave that for a moment. I wanted to come, because when you were explaining the technicality, it feels like there's a bit of intuition in what you do. Is that true?
Yes, correct.
How much of intuition do you deploy in delivering your sound?
I don't know how to explain it in words, but you just concentrate, and it also comes over time with experience. You know what to do at what point. Okay, I want to pass this emotion to the audience. I want them to clap. What do I do? I want them to mellow. I want them to listen to me. What do I do? So it comes over years with practice too. Yeah.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but it appears as if most saxophonists, trumpeters, they stay in that lane. There's hardly musical compositions, coming from them, because it's a lot of work anyway. Churning out albums is a rare pattern for them. Will it be different for you? What's your own? What's the projection of your own career trajectory as a saxophonist?
I'm living it one step at a time, one day at a time, but I've taken courses in production and composition, so it's something that we might see soon enough.
Okay. Sometimes we need to hear you perform before we run, okay? Because a lot of people can't get enough of you. So, a lot of people also say that saxophonists have women flocking around them. Don't worry, blow with your sax. Answer with your sax.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's do it again. We start spraying you, but it's illegal to spray notes, right?
No, they don't give bundles. They don't spray anymore.
Right, or just credit you. You have a POS. But amazing. So you're versatile. You're able to do soulful music that makes you dance.
Even make Christmas music danceable.
Exactly.
Right. It's beautiful.
So the women flock around you, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how to answer that question.
It's a yes or no question.
It's for
Christmas time.
to decide. Yeah, thank you. So
I wasn't trying to give you an escape route.
Because we've had examples.
They're just trying to say that maybe you should shout out to her.
The women flock around saxophones. You're the woman here.
Just be specific about the question.
Straightforward.
Straightforward. Okay, so please give them the answer they want.
The saxophone, single reed instrument, also mostly brass. Does it attract women, or is this personality that attracts?
I think there's a woman here. Let's just ask her. Does saxophone attract you?
I think that works.
How can that be now?
Well, with a combination of other things as well, not just the saxophone.
She's a Nigerian woman.
No, but really, she's being honest.
She's a Nigerian woman.
Yeah, with a combination of other things as well. And I'm sure Somto can testify to that.
Yeah, I think I agree. She speaks for both of us.
The way you're looking. So what do you have in store for the coming days, months? You said you're learning production, and it'll be good to see your versatility now translating into something else. A lot of people always box saxophonists, expect you to do instrumentals, expect you to perform at live bands or live events. But what is the plan for you?
Okay, so the instrumental we just danced to, I had to produce that last night in preparation for today.
That was done by you as well?
Yeah, that was done by me from my home studio. So it's a learning curve for me. It's been interesting, it's been hard, but by God's grace it's been worth the while. Then I had my first solo concert 3 weeks ago on the 4th of December at Ebony Life Place. So I'm just taking it idiot at the time, and I have expectations, but then I'm trying not to jump the gun. Just one step at a time, learning on the journey, and I know it will make sense at the end of the day.
Okay, so where can we see Somto perform?
You have a residency
as a man and a woman. No, just answer everybody, because I know you are trying to restrict your audience. To just, oh yeah, go. Where
I used to perform at a couple of places on the island, but for one reason or the other, I had to stop. So for now, I'll just do my solo gigs and do my own shows, but I'll definitely send an invite across.
When you get the residency, call us.
To all of us, you send an invite to all of us.
To everyone.
It's very
I'll send it through you.
But really, how lucrative is this, what you do? I know it could be expensive to learn. I mean, getting a saxophone now, how much does it cost to get a good saxophone now?
A fairly good one.
I know there are levels. So let's stay.
Okay, as at 2020, the last time I bought a saxophone for someone, it was London used. It was over 300k back then.
That's 2020. When the naira to dollar was, we know what it was saying.
See how the conscience.
Yeah. So now I don't even bother checking these things, man. For my own sanity.
So for even for musical instruments, there are London use, just as we have London use for phones.
Certainly. Yeah. Certainly. If you want to get a new, very good saxophone now, you're talking millions.
Yeah.
The saxophone I want to get next, 3 million naira. So it's a prayer point right now.
The word has been put out there. You never know. You just may get it free.
Exactly. And the beauty is you do great work, so it's going to be value, whatever it is. So is it lucrative? Let's talk about that. Or how lucrative is it?
It can be. I think anything can be lucrative, right? But the fact that I'm not doing something really generic, I'll tilt more towards the contemporary jazz. That's what I love. So. It's about finding that right audience, and God has been faithful to me too. So, is it lucrative? It can be for me.
It could be better.
Yeah.
So is this the only thing you do, or you do other things as well?
That's a very long
answer
question, but I try and keep it short. I'm a final year student of physiotherapy as well at the College of Medicine, University of Lagos. Then before that,
beautiful combination. Therapy, music is also therapeutic.
Right?
Yeah.
So hello to your lecturers and colleagues in school.
Yeah, right. Shout out to my physio guys.
So give him 10 extra marks
for this.
Represent. No, it's important because there was a time I did a course and I had just one mark to get a distinction, and they didn't give me for attendance. Just add it now.
Somto, we have to thank you so much. Clearly, we're still having a lot of fun. Somto Iheanacho, full name?
Yeah.
Somto Somti. Thank you so much for the work.
So is it going to be Somto Sax?
No, I like to just do my name.
Somto Chuku.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So we go on a break now. Clearly, we're still going to have a lot of fun with him. When we are back, we have something special for you. Yes, it's Boxing Day. Christmas is in the air, and we need to drive that message home. You don't want to miss this. Stay with us.
Welcome back. We did tell you we have a special guest for you. Yesterday was Christmas, today is Boxing Day, but there's a reason for the season, and it's the Christ. And we have joining us a very distinguished guest, the global president and senior pastor of KICC, Chancellor of King's University, entrepreneur, author, philanthropist, speaker, pastor, coach. He embodies many things. Pastor Matthew Ashimolowo joins us via Zoom. Thank you so much, sir, for coming on the program.
My pleasure. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas in arrears and Happy New Year in advance.
Let's begin with your secrets to staying young. A lot of people, or some people may not know you're over 70. Maybe you're still looking like 42. What exactly do you do to stay this young?
A few crazy things. I don't eat rice. I don't eat yam. I don't eat amala. I don't eat eba. I haven't done that for 27 years. Well, in the past 6 years, I now eat rice on Christmas Day because My wife prepares the best fried rice in the world. Other than that, for the past 27 years, I've dropped all those. I haven't taken Coca-Cola in 28 years. Sugar is almost totally gone. Salt is very pinch. I do 3 hours every other day in exercise, 3-4 hours every other day. Well, that's some of the things I do.
Okay, is it what are you left to eat? Is it, do you just drink water and sleep? What
the word of God.
Wow, that is another level. We're going to come to that level of discipline, but let's start off with the Christmas conversation.
All right, sir.
A lot of people celebrate, and this is for the Christian faith. This is an annual ritual, literally every year. Do you think that at some point the fatigue of this repetitive practice can make us lose the essence of the significance of this season, and how do we work on that to ensure that this stays for those who are Christians?
I think number one, the truth is this: we're celebrating the birthday of the Savior. Everyone does celebrate their birthday, and repeating it is no big deal to them. The only challenge is the fact that Christianity has allowed, or shall I say, the world have captured, seized from us the essence of the day and have turned it into a massive commercial. I live in the United Kingdom. I'm doing this from the UK, and this week's sale on High Street UK equals to 12 to 15% of total sale for the whole year. Commercialization certainly is not good for Christianity. However, the celebration, let it continue.
Wow, very important point you made there. And for some people, it's now very tough to distinguish what exactly is going on. Is it the Christmas lights, the Christmas trees, Santa Claus and all of that, movies as well, or the sober reflection on the fact that something remarkable, perhaps the most remarkable event in the history of mankind, is what we're actually celebrating. And you'll even find Christians, getting distracted in that sense. And maybe to reiterate that point, so how do you begin to reposition and change perspective so you are able to appreciate the essence of the season, but more importantly, to key into it?
I think the first thing to do is to not take your eye off the reason for the season. And the reason for the season, bottom line, is still Christ. The commercialization and the things that have been tied around Christianity have essentially nothing to do with it. Matter of fact, we don't want to delve into it, but let me just tell you, much of what has been heaped on Christmas has its background in ancient religious practice in Europe that is essentially from the Druids. Santa Claus is a myth. Some people don't even want you to say that. All those lights and the daffodils and the thistles that are cut and hung around the house, they're all having to do with ancient Roman practice. But the truth is this: even when you see those kind of things happening, you can choose to not put the emphasis on the fact that it is an attempt by another religion to steal your faith. You make the most of it. If we want to go into trying to cut off what has to do with ancient practice from the world, we will mess up everything. Even the name January is the name of a god, Janus. February is Februs. March is Mars. April is Aphrodite. May is Maia. June is Jupiter. We don't want to do all that. All we want to do is, while the world is busy putting so much emphasis on red carp, reindeer, and Santa Claus, we who know Jesus for ourselves as a Savior, who know the reason, must always blow the dust off so the world will have their focus on the reason for the season.
And many Nigerians, in the spirit of the season, sir, have embarked on missions, giving food items and other things, other interventions for the needy in the spirit of the season. But sadly, such events went awry last weekend when we lost nearly 70 persons, half of them children, but it was all well-intentioned on the part of those who organized these events. We could also talk about the intervention that you provided weeks before that time, which was Smooth Sail, the CCRW crusade. So I'd like you to speak to these recent happenings in the country. What lessons can they learn from, what you did also in Oyo State? And of course, some have even talked about how they should perhaps give cash to these people instead of these events if they're unable to, do something proper that would be smooth sail. I'd like you to speak to these events and what we can learn from them.
First of all, I'd like to commiserate and render my condolences to all the families who are affected by the terrible thing that had happened in Ibadan, Abuja, and Anambra. It is very disheartening. It's really painful to lose your loved ones. And the most difficult is particularly children who haven't even started. And for you to lose that number of children, I'm 72. I have no memory of that number of children lost by Nigeria in one time. I am not here to advocate for the organizers, but I can say that having been interviewed on Agidigbo by Hamzat, I tell you, he's one of those people who he has a heart for humanity. It really does. I'm a pastor, but for some crazy reason, I watch his dealing with humanity on TikTok, and he is one of the most pleasant, pleasurable, and nice person. However, having said all that, I think the greatest challenge is this. Your good can be evil spoken of if it is not well planned. I do not want to juxtapose what we have done with what others have done, but yeah, we ran 6 days of large crowd in Ibadan, and for 5 days we distributed 150,000 packs of rice, 150,000 packs of beans, 150,000 packs of gari, 100,000 packs of noodles. We gave 160,000 clothings away. We had 2 days of medicals, close to 700 surgery, medicine worth over 500 million naira. The 2 days of the medical, the people who showed up conservatively each day would be 30,000 adults. We had medicine for 30,000 children to be dewormed. And the 30,000 adults each day, about 5,000 of them had to do with glasses, with their eyes, and then the other people, the remaining, were given medicine. We lined up 200 doctors, about 150 pharmacists, and about 100 nurses. I can only tell you what I did. I had to go to Ghana and study how to do it for 8 years. Why Ghana? I was just minding my own business when I went to preach for some people, and I saw that they were holding crusade combined with compassion. And something in my spirit said, this is what Africa needs. People should not just hear the word. They should see another side of the love of God. They should see us going the extra mile. And up till now, 80-90% of the cost comes from me. A few of my friends and some people who are on the prayer program I would have chipped in. Now, I had to go and study how to do it well. I followed these guys who had been doing it for 35 years. I followed them to villages of Ghana, Techima, Ho, Goso, Accra, Tamale, Kumasi, Bolgatanga. I ended becoming an uncertified Ghanaian. I went every year. I studied everything. We did documentation. We saw how they managed the crowd. We saw how they created barrier systems. Our crusade cost us, I don't want to tell you the amount, because once you mention this kind of amount, then somebody begins to text you to come and help them. But just crowd control cost us 50 million naira. The crowd control. The barriers that we set, you had to walk through our barriers to come in, cost us about 20 million in renting just barriers. I think what I would suggest is that we need compassion. We are Africans. We are loving people. We anthropologically, we are a people group. We can't handle another person's pain and close our eyes. We don't even remember whether you are from Nkalagu, Kauran Namoda, or you are from Oyo. When we respond to your need, that's who we are. I think what the government should do is not shut down, but maybe invite people who have run events like this and say, okay, come and teach us, because that's another thing. Government needs to learn. Don't just tell the police, police manage everything, because you end up with force. And then you see the NPF, the Nigerian Police Force. I mean, part of our process was even the same Oyo State, we had the police. 250 to 300. I want to celebrate the Commissioner of Police for Oyo State. He gave us the best of his men, because we worked with them. I humbled myself. I went to every office to go and sit down, show them our plan. I went to his office 2 times. He delegated all his ACPs and DCPs to manage all the police. Then we went to the army. I haven't entered Mokola Barracks in 54 years. That's where I lived when I came down from the north. But I went in after 4 years. 54, I went to the colonel in charge and said, we need soldiers. We had 50 soldiers, close to 300 policemen who worked with the system we had. Then we had the church in Ibadan. They were A1, first class. However, they had never seen our kind of distribution. So they were ready to be educated by what we had seen previously. And we had a run in Ikorodu. I want to celebrate Governor Sanwo-Olu. He created a parallel team with our team so that the 2 teams worked together. I think that's another thing. Anyone who wants to run something on a large scale should consult the government, the state government, the law enforcement agencies. There should be a policy manual. Then there should be safety procedures. That is a documented safety procedure for 1,000 crowd, 2,000 crowd, 5,000 crowd, 10,000 crowd, 50,000 crowd, particularly if relief will be distributed. I don't like calling it palliative. Palliative means that the people are sick and you're giving them something to relieve them from sickness. Our people are not sick. They are wonderful people. They are awesome people. Then we had coupons. You didn't have a coupon, you did not enter. I suspect that all these places, there were no coupons. You didn't get a coupon.
All right, sir. If I may button,
yes, sir.
A lot you said, and apparently there's a lot to glean from what you said. The level of consultation, the level of preparation, yes. Everybody, it will be difficult for things to go wrong, except it just goes wrong. But it's commendable, and I'm sure the authorities and everyone wants to reach out to people, because we shouldn't stop people from reaching out, just that we need to manage the outreaches better. But let's go back to the church. And one of the things I was thinking of, as I will ask you, is I don't know any other space which has a better hub, or what I call the creative economy innovation hub or incubation hub like the church. But it appears that the church ends up losing this young talent, so whether you want to call it the world at the end of the day. So does that suggest that the church should be concerned about the future of its young people?
Very good question. I think one of the biggest challenges we face is the fact that the church itself has created a dichotomy and said we are church and that's the world. And sometimes, forgive my French, I think even our constitution, which will say the separation of church and state. My understanding of the church is that it's the kingdom of God. It's a whole kingdom, and therefore it has capacity. And because it has capacity, its approach to touching its congregation should be wholesome. It shouldn't just be preaching every morning. No. It should have a vision where a young man walks into our building. We minister to him spirit, soul, and body. We prepare him for the world. We prepare him to be a champion. Our education system should be seen even in the church. The church should not just be interested in my spiritual life. It should be interested in me as a wholesome person. That was why our crusade, we decided that it will touch 5 areas. I knew that somebody might even look at me and think a bit controversial about me. You believe in miracles. Why are you giving medicine? Because not all men have faith. And I decided I want to do it on 5 levels. Part of what we should do as a church should be to truly reach the young people. I think essentially in some remits, the church is losing its young people. And some of us, my generation, forgive my French again, my generation lies to itself, buries its head in the sand and says they will come back to us. And nobody goes back to the grave. Let's not be the cemetery. And that's why you find the younger generation churches are growing, because they address relevant matters, relevant issues. They do not focus on how the color of the hair of the guy is or how many rings are in his ears when he's playing the drums in the church. They are more interested in him being a wholesome person. So I must accept on behalf of my generation that we probably dropped the ball, and the church, in order to build the future, needs to watch what is going on and change its method.
Interesting point there, and it's been quite controversial, this particular topic, right? And I imagine a lot of people will still raise controversies listening to it. Now, there's some people, or a good number of people, who are now not happy, I'll just use that, with men of God, right? And it's men of God, and it looks like men of God, I mean, that's the term used now, are the usual targets now. Any little thing, they target men of God. But you have a private jet. Why do you have a private jet? But you have a Rolls Royce. Why on earth do you have a Rolls Royce in the midst of, suffering? Why on earth is your wristwatch $20,000 and all of that? And they always wonder, come on, what do these men of God even do? And I'm sure that you've been at the receiving end of that a lot. Just of recent, Pastor Toby in the UK has also been at the receiving end of these controversies. You probably never put to rest those controversies. They'll probably last even longer, than anybody here. But when you see those comments, when you hear those, comments online, what comes to mind? Do you sometimes look inwards and say, maybe I should just tone down a little bit, or maybe your colleagues as well? Or you say, well, it is my life. As far as I'm not doing anything wrong, I'll keep living it for the gospel.
I think that there is a degree of unfairness in the comments. Firstly, because with all due respect to the ladies and gentlemen of the press, I think sometimes some people just play on the bandwagon of wanting to vilify the man of the cloth, the preacher. Number one, our pastors live in our midst. Number two, we don't quite fairly calculate the percentage. I would say, give and take, Nigeria has 1 million pastors. And out of that 1 million pastors, Nigeria has 4 pastors who own a jet. What percentage of 1 million is 4? That's a microcosm. However, all our newspapers, the social media platform is full of pastors have a jet, pastors have a jet, pastors have a jet. 4 over 1 million is a tiny microcosm. It does not even count. That's the first thing. The second truth is, it's really, really very unfair for you to think that while the likes of Davido can ride a Cullinan Rolls Royce at 30, a man who probably has his own business, you don't know how he made his money, decided to buy one. But because he bears the name pastor, and there had always been a perception that he should be poor, you therefore vilify him. I think that is also not fair. Yes, there should be balance. There should also be shamefacedness. However, if a man got blessed from his business, you shouldn't say, how come this pastor is blessed? That's the first question. The second is, of course, a man is worthy of his hire. We have prejudice, prejudging in our mind based on profession, which is not right. I was standing in front of an immigration officer in the United States of America. One time I was going into the US and I was wearing a Versace shirt. And the guy said, what do you do? I said, I'm a pastor. He said, are you a pastor? You're wearing a Versace shirt? I said, I've been in this job 35 years. I'm entitled to a simple short sleeve Versace. Oh, he said, yeah, you're right there. You're right there. But oftentimes, these reactions come from prejudice. We know those who probably are just excessive, who we don't see what impact they make on the kingdom. No lives are saved. Nobody is transformed. Those kind of one, we know them, so let's not lump them. We also know those who you find that the Bible says a laborer is worthy of his hire. He had paid his dues. He has done his work. God prospered him. And then lastly, if I would want anybody to be in front of me as a leader, I want a person whom I want to emulate. I desire a good life. I desire a successful life. And the scriptures, the Bible teaches that we cannot belittle what the Bible teaches because of a microcosm who hold a certain prejudice. 2,215 scripture verses talk about finance. While only, yeah, go ahead.
No, just land on your thought.
I'm the only pastor on earth who has produced a prayer Bible, but there are only 500 scriptures on prayer. There are only 150 on hope, 300 on faith, 2,215 on finance, and every of those scriptures talk about people prospering. If I'm going to challenge people that they should prosper, and I'm broke myself, I'm a bad example of the message I preach. So there are times when we have lumped everyone. We've not looked at people's effort. We've not looked at the price they paid. We've not looked at the pain they went through. We've not also looked at their sacrifice. Many do not know the days when somebody had to carry Pastor Adeboye in their car to various places to preach. He had none. Many do not know the days. I know the days when my friend Bishop Oyedepo would drive all the way from Kaduna to Ibadan in this Jalopy Datsun 120 to come and preach in Ibadan in those days, about 37 years ago. People don't know those days of small beginning. They just lambast.
All right, Pastor, I can guarantee that, well, you're not shy to these things. More reactions will come from what you just said in the last few minutes.
Sure. Let it come. We're ready for it.
I know you're never shy. Quite a delight talking to you. We wish we had a lot more time because I know you have a lot to say. But the luxury of time is what we don't have almost. Thank you so much for making our time to talk to us. Reverend Matthew Ashimolowo is the Global President and Senior Pastor of KICC, a Chancellor of King's University, entrepreneur, businessman, author, philanthropist, speaker, and coach. A lot of things.
And never shy to rice.
And never shy to controversy. But we must commend the legacy and all of the things you've done, your great work. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And we're taking a cue from every instruction except no jollof in 27.
That's a difficult one to keep. Thank you, sir, for coming on the program.
Pleasure.
All right. Quite a conversation, guys. Quite a conversation. But that's where we wrap up the show. I'm Jeffrey Uzama. Have yourself a beautiful, do we say Boxing Day? Whatever you have to unbox, great for you. Bye-bye.
There's something about Christmas. I wish it wouldn't end. What do you think? Join us again tomorrow when we bring you the home stretch. I am Bukola Koka.
Remember, eat healthy. Maybe cheat during this period, but pay attention to your health.
Cheat with food. With food, by the way.
Nothing else.
I'm Kyle Okikulu. Sunrise Daily is next. Very nice.